Hello everyone and welcome to episode 19 of the Wizard101 Let's Play series. Last episode we finished up the Cave of Solitude and Kashibi Village in one nice concise episode. Took about 48 minutes I think, so not too bad. Today's episode I think I'm going to do Shirataki Temple, maybe just Shirataki Temple, and then I'll see if it ends up being like 20 minutes. I might decide to also do the Village of Sorrow, which will be the next after that, I believe, or it might be Ancient Burial Grounds. I actually don't remember the order of those streets, and that is crazy. So anyways, you might have noticed a few things. First off, I have some new gear, specifically some Buckingham Palace gear. I did a stream last night. If you didn't catch that, you can go back and watch it. It's about 2.5 hours long. Not the longest, but, you know, it's a nice digestible piece of content that if you can watch if you want to. It's in the Wiz series playlist if you want to find it there. I streamed for about 2 hours, and I was like, I'm going to do some Buckingham Palace runs. And I did those for about an hour and a half, and I got the robe and the boots. And this hat, you may be like, well, no, you didn't mention a hat. Did you get a hat? I didn't get a hat, but I did get a hat that I decided to stitch because the Zeus gear looked absolutely horrible when it was just the Zeus helmet on top of the robe and the boots. That's a weakness. Nice. Love it, love it, love it. That's two weaknesses. Someone in my comments said that I should pack Pierce for shields, which honestly is an insanely good idea, and I will probably do that at some point once I have some extra gold. I should also maybe pack some Cleanse Charms, at least for Arc 1, because Arc 1, it is rough out here, man. I've been getting weaknessed probably on average at least once a battle, probably even twice a battle. It would be, if I could go and like add up all the times I've been weaknessed, I'm pretty sure we're reaching the triple digits now. Which is a little crazy, but fair enough, Kingsisle. Alright, I'm gonna Skeletal Pirate the second one, and then... Okay, I might not Skeletal Pirate the second one. They're spamming debuffs on me. We love that. Alright, let's see if I hit. I might even record... Oh, I actually did manage to hit with a minus 45 accuracy on me. That's crazy. I might actually even record 2 episodes today. I was thinking of doing that because I have a little bit extra time on my hands today to do some stuff. So why not, right? Alright, Blade and then Wraith, maybe? Anyways, I didn't actually look at my stats. I'll show you guys them after this battle, or maybe I did, because I do kind of flick through the menus a lot. A habit that I have, presumably because of my ADHD. I do it in every game. My damage has gone up a little bit. I think I also trained my pet up more. I think it gained damage since the last time I looked at it. It gives me... Oh, I fizzled on the spell that I had a much higher chance of using. Yeah, I have 10 damage now. I got Defying, which isn't great, but +4 Universal Resist I'll take. So, hopefully it gets Dealer at Epic. That would be great. But I'll just keep training it for a little bit. At the very least, this is a very good base of a pet for now, so that I can, you know, have a pet that doesn't just give me nothing. It really goes to show that getting a pet nowadays is so much easier than it used to be. I remember back in the day, it used to be so rare to see anyone with a good pet because only like a select few had them, and then they usually wouldn't want to hatch with you because you're like a level 10, random level 10 wizard that they don't want to hatch with. You know, I'm speaking from first-hand experience here. And, yeah, but like nowadays with the hatching kiosk, it's so much better to be able to just, you know, hatch with someone that doesn't exist. I mean, it's 3 times more expensive, which sucks, but it is what it is. Anyways, my new stats, I have 52 damage now, which is great. I don't think anything else has really changed. I think my accuracy went down by 2, but that's fine. And then my universal resist is slightly higher, but my myth and life resist is gone. Traded by death resist. So, I don't know, an interesting trade of stats. Alright. There's actually teleporters in this dungeon now. There never used to be, I don't think. I'm not sure how long this dungeon is going to take, because it is a slightly long dungeon. Oh, I meant to be listening to dialogue.
But first we must dispatch Haru. He holds
Haru?
the gate key. Defeat Haru and open the temple gate.
It's Moss back, and he's got a quest for me.
Bring diseased water spirit samples to Wavebringer. If he not corrupted,
Nope, can't go there.
Cleanse samples.
Alright, let's go to Haru. I've been doing, I also did some Mushu side quests on stream. That's a Black Lotus, I want to get that. I did some of the side quests on stream, and I've been doing them as I'm going, so I should have completed, this will be the last side quest in the Shoshan Village area, and then obviously I'll do the other ones as I go. I don't think I can, but hitting level 50 before Dragonspire would be sick. Again, I don't think I can. I think I'll be like level 49, maybe, or 48. Let's just do a Bladed Skeletal Pirate, maybe. And the cool thing is, with 52% damage, I've reached a point now where, like, I'm starting to do... Like, my hits are good, you know? I can do some damage. Looking to protect yourself, or deal some damage? Can a Bladed Vampire kill? 500 at base, plus 30% is an extra 200. I think it can. I think it can. We're going to test it out right now. If it doesn't, that's what the Dark Sprite's for. That's in my deck. Okay, I can't if you weakness me. Oh, he didn't weakness me. His natural attack is balanced for some reason. This is great. Fantastic news. I've had a few people in the comments ask me if I'm going to be playing console, like doing a stream on console and stuff like that. I think it kind of depends, because if they do like a free member promotion, definitely. I still got to get my capture card set up first, but that shouldn't be too hard. It's right here. I just don't have it plugged into my computer and stuff. But I really don't want to spend an extra $10 on a membership right now. Like, you know, like, it's $10 I could be spending elsewhere. Like, I could go and buy myself, like, a really good cheeseburger from somewhere. Or, like, I don't know. I'm sure there's some other stuff I could buy as well. That would be better than a 4th Wizard101 membership. Alright. Stack the curse. I should be able to kill a Skeletal Pirate next round. Easy dub for the boys. I will say, I definitely like the Stitch significantly more than I liked my other one. I'm not a big fan of how the Zeus gear looks. I never have been. So it's cool to have, you know, a much more refreshing looking Stitch, I'll say. Obviously my Stitch will probably change. I don't know if I'm going to farm Dragonspire World Gear. I could, once I obviously get to Malastare, but the problem with that is, I think I'm going to already be around level 60 by that point. At that point I should just do Winter Tusk Crafted, or, you know, Winter Tusk Crafted or Waterworks, if, you know, I'm already around that level. There's no point in farming for the Dragonspire World Gear at that point. Where's the quest helper taking me? It's going the wrong way. Alright, hello Dinho.
Now to summon Wavebringer. This water spirit guards the entrance to the temple.
Now here's the long part of the dungeon.
On the 4 shrines to summon Wavebringer.
I shall do such a thing. This dungeon always has been a little bit like on the longer side, because you do have to activate these 4 shrines, which is 4 separate fights, and then there's another boss fight, and then a boss fight followed by the Plague Oni. So it's a little bit. We'll see how long it takes us, and we'll see where we go from there. If I mean, realistically, I should be able to do... Okay.
Pathetic fool. I will crush you where you stand.
Don't talk to me. Oh, excuse me, jeez. I keep yawning every time I record or do a stream, which is crazy, because I don't feel tired and I'm not yawning up until I actually start recording, which I don't really get. But, you know, fair enough. Alright, do I want to... I mean, we established I can take him out with a vampire. So we'll take this guy out with a vampire real fast. And then that leaves me with 2 pips, or a power pip, so I can, like, already cast a spell soon. I think, because I get Scarecrow next level. So we're gonna get to a point where I can start doing mob fights with Scarecrow. Which, I'll say, I'm not sure how much... I mean... I could do mob fights with Scarecrow. I'm just trying to think of, like, how effective that will be with it costing 7 pips, but it can't be that bad. I start with 3, maybe 4 every single time. But as I've mentioned before, and, you know, I'm sure people, if you're tuning into this episode starting at episode 19 for some reason instead of episode 1, my plan for this series is to use mainly single targets on bosses and then use AoEs on mob fights to try to keep the game a little bit more refreshing, a little bit more interesting. So, I'll probably use it on, you know, like, just random enemy fights that I encounter throughout these worlds, especially, you know, once I get up to Dragonspire Celestia. It's going to be very useful for the mob encounters to have that AoE. But I'm not going to use it for boss fights because I think it'll keep the game quite a bit fresher if I do it that way. Getting caught on a piece of geometry, classic.
In just a few moments, you will regret this one.
Okay. I like how some of these lines are, like, hard as hell. Like, some guys just straight up will be like, I'm going to kick your ass and kill you. And then other ones are just like, you will regret this, young wizard. And I'm like, okay. A little bit less dramatic than your friend down the road, but I guess not everyone is super dramatic. Alright, which one's better to take out first? I don't think it really matters. I'll just take out the storm one. I keep meaning to, if I remember, to go do some Agony Wraith runs and see about getting a vampire upgrade again. But I think at this point it's like, I'm just not going to remember to do it. And farming for spell elements is just so asinine. I don't know if I want to do it or not. Just seems like a lot, you know? Seems like it'll take a while. I really do wish that KingsIsle would add a better way to get spell elements. They've already really made it much better than it used to be by making it so that each quest drops spell elements. Because, you know, that didn't used to be a thing. It used to be just purely from fights. Now it's a little bit easier with the drops, but it's still not good because there's still a limited amount. Like, I've found that I've had enough from upgrading, or like from doing the quest, I've had enough to upgrade tier 1 in most of the spells. Like, I mean, yeah, I have almost enough to upgrade Skeletal Pirate for the first time. I had enough to upgrade Vampire. I had enough to upgrade Banshee, Ghoul, and Dark Sprite. So yeah, like 1 time seems to be the average. Obviously, some spells are better than others because I got some drops for them, but... Alright. Mistwood. Hell yeah. I need to get some scrap iron too.
By appearing in front of me.
Okay, calm down, brother. This guy, if I remember correctly, used to drop Goat Monk back in the day. He doesn't anymore, I don't think. Let me see. I mean, yeah, he definitely doesn't drop Goat Monk anymore. I'm pretty sure he used to drop Goat Monk. Which is... It's weird that they removed it. I thought that it was cool that he dropped Goat Monk, you know what I mean? But I think they removed it because of the specific idea that every spell now is dropped by spell elements, and they want those spell elements to be exclusive to gold key bosses. It's a little bit of a weird mindset, but like, part of me understands it, I guess. Part of me understands it to a degree. I just think it's like, it was cool that you could get a drop of goat monks from this guy. And I think there's also a boss in Mushu that drops ninja pigs, or it used to drop ninja pigs. And it was just cool, the idea that you could randomly get them. Speaking of, I've meant to make a video on this for a while, but I don't even really know if I would nowadays. Back in the day, though, I was planning on making a video on this, was talking about the fact that Lore Master, they just completely ruined Lore Master. Because Lore Master used to be this like really cool place where a bunch of players gathered to farm to get a bunch of cards that, you know, you couldn't get. And like, Lore Master always used to be poppin'. Like, you used to be able to find a team up every single time, no matter the time of the day, for Lore Master. And nowadays, there's no point in farming Lore Master because she doesn't drop anything, I don't think. I think she might drop the Halloween spell nowadays. Let me see. Yeah, she drops Headless Horseman, and that is it. So there's no point in doing Lore Master unless it is specifically Halloween time, which is just weird. Speaking of, actually, I was gonna say I should farm Lore Master for Headless Horseman, and now that I think about it, it's currently October 6th, and obviously the event goes to at least October 31st, probably November 1st or 2nd, I would guess. I should actually be able to farm for Headless Horseman early, like now, because I'll be able to get to Dragonspire soon. Like, I'm over halfway through Mushu, which is sick. I mean, at this point, I'm like 2/3 of the way done through Mushu. You know, speaking of Mushu, I've always thought that the world structure of this world is actually pretty cool. And what I mean by that is that it's very specifically, there is a like hard 2-street followed by big dungeon thing, and it does that 3 times, you know, 2 streets, a dungeon, and then there's the final boss at the end, which, I mean, admittedly, if I'm thinking about it more, there are a few worlds that do that. Like, even Marleybone kind of does that. Hyde Park, Chelsea Court, and then Ironworks, Newgate Prison, Knight's Court, and then Castanight's Lab, and then the Counterweight and Big Ben, which is 3 dungeons at the end. Krakatopia also kind of follows that, but not really. But I don't know. I think it's cool how this world has, like, a very strict structure to it that, like, a lot of later worlds don't really have. Like, I mean, worlds like Imperia just have, like, 10 streets, and that's it. And then, like, obviously there's some big dungeons every once in a while, but they're not huge dungeons like these. Like, these are street-length dungeons, you know what I mean? And they don't really do street-length dungeons anymore. They just do a dungeon that has, like, 3 or 4 boss fights and call it a day. Alright. Use the Spirit Shrine. And finally defeat Wavebringer. So, I have thought about it, because once I hit level 60, you know, that obviously opens my options of farming for a lot of different gear. I'll definitely do Zigzag at least once, but I don't know how much I'll farm it. Obviously, it'll be easier if I do it on stream and people help me with it, but, like, I'm not sure how many runs I want to do to get the robe. Because, like, obviously the robe is incredibly good, and it will last me all the way up to level 100, but it's one of those things, like, the drop rate is so low that do I want to do the entire dungeon for it? I'm not sure. Maybe. We'll see when we get there. But it would be one less piece of Waterworks gear I have to farm, but knowing my luck, that's the gear I would end up getting.
You will sleep soundly when I am done with you.
That's one of the weirdest combat initiation voice lines I've ever heard in this game. You will sleep soundly when I am done with you. Obviously, he means he's just gonna kill us, but, like, I don't know, it's kind of funny. Man, I'm low on mana. It's funny, I've never been low on mana in my life until this character, and the reason why I'm low on mana all the time, and if you didn't, like, if you're wondering why I'm usually kind of low on mana, it's because, I mean, A, marks now take mana to use them every time, and it's like 10 mana, which, obviously, marks took mana before, but, like, I tend to reuse marks a lot more now, since they're infinitely reusable. And also on top of that, I don't have any mana on my ring or my Athame, because my ring I'm using a power pep ring that only gives health, and then for my Athame I've been using Heartsteel, so I don't have any extra mana. Like, I would have an extra 50 to 60 mana if I had those two things, which would obviously mean I would probably never run out of mana. Alright, I think Wavebringer is making this nice and easy for me. Because if I use Skill to Pirate next round, he should just die. The perks of having really good damage at this level. I mean, obviously, I could have even higher damage if I wanted to. Like, if I had the Barking on Palace hat, it would add an extra 4 damage, so I'd be up to 56. And then, obviously, my pet, if it had Dealer, that would add an extra 9 to it. I mean, right now it would be 8, but I would get into, like, the 60 range, the 60-70 range. Alright, Wavebringer done. Now I can talk to him for the side quest. Yo, Mossback, my guy. I purified the water or whatever.
I thank you, living creature.
God, look how beautiful this place is.
Thank you.
I feel like I've never really, like, looked at this place, because it's like, damn, wait, that's like beautiful looking. I've never really looked at this place that closely, despite the fact I've done this dungeon 100 times. But man, it's a good looking area. Imagine if they updated the graphics so it was like Pirate 101 Mushu instead. That would actually be one of the coolest locations in the game. Alas. Okay, I might actually need to use a potion for mana rather than health, which is a little crazy here, but we'll see. Now we have the patented Plague Oni long loading screen. You know, while we're waiting for this loading screen, let me take a second to tell you guys, if you want, you can join and become a channel member. And if you do, you can get these episodes up to 2 to 3 days early. Usually I upload them.
Will give me more pleasure than breaking your wand.
Okay. Look at this guy. I can craft spells. I mean, I need to be a legendary crafter, which isn't for a while, but yeah, you can become a channel member and get these episodes early, and that is pretty damn cool. So if you've ever found yourself, like, you're sitting here and you're like, man, I really want to hear Noah talk for, like, another 30 minutes, you can become a channel member, and chances are, there's good chance that there will already be a video waiting for you. In fact, considering I'm probably going to record another one after this, some people are even going to have 2 waiting for them, which is crazy. We love early episodes. Bleh. Alright. I gotta say, that extra damage I got is very helpful. Like, being able to do 700 with the vampire is so useful. Alright, let's put up a faint blade, and then Skeletal Pirate should just do it. Alright. You know, I really like the name Noah Moonriddle. It's just a fun name. Ice Weaver. Okay. Shouldn't do that much. Almost 500, okay. Yeah, it's kind of cool. I haven't... Oh, I pip failed. That's unfortunate. I haven't been in danger of dying in, like, a long time. And I think part of the reason why I'm doing this so overleveled is I think there's just something so incredibly fun and satisfying about doing the side content in this game and genuinely being way stronger than your enemies for a while. And obviously, I don't think, I'm not going to keep being overleveled forever, because at some point the XP catches up with itself, you know, if you don't keep doing side quests.
Defeated, Hideyoshi crumples to the ground and fades. A demon emerges from his still form.
Oh, there they are.
It is
Okay.
the plague Oni.
I'm gonna actually use a potion. I originally I was like, oh, is he not gonna spawn with his minions? But no, there he goes. Another book. Yeah, the minions make this a little bit more annoying, but that's fine. I can deal with it. I should have added an extra spell to my deck, but it should be okay. I should have more than enough. If I don't, that'll just be a little awkward. Man, thank God these guys don't have Spirit Shield. They just use Elemental Shield. Alright, no weaknesses. I'll take that. Start by killing this guy. I fizzled. Yippee. So, I've talked about it before, but obviously you guys know that I'm quite the big Pokemon fan. I've mentioned it on stream a lot. There's a lot of franchises that I'm a big fan of, and I'm sure I'll go into them in more detail throughout all of these episodes, because you know, guys, you know I love talking. But, yeah, I'm really a big fan of Pokemon, and, you know, I could talk about it a little bit this episode, but specifically I want to talk about the fact that Legends EA is coming out in 10 days as of recording this, and I am very, very excited, because Legends Arceus is one of my favorite Pokemon games, and I'm very excited for another game to take place in the Kalos region, because that was one of the first I ever, like, actively completed. I did complete Black 2, it was the first Pokemon game I ever completed, but, X and Y was the first one I, like, completed, and I actively remember doing the whole thing. Let's put up a feint on the boss, I guess. Don't fizzle, please. Nice. Yeah, Pokemon's one of those games, I think it's interesting, because if you haven't tried out Pokemon, I would recommend it, because the games are great for all ages, like all of the games. A lot of people complain about the new games being too easy, but realistically, Pokemon, all the games are pretty easy if you know what you're doing. Like, you know, being able to, like, know stuff about stats and IVs and moves and whatnot. Like, all the old games are easy too. But it's one of those things I find interesting, and I don't know if any of you play Pokemon have experienced this before, but there's like a thing where once you know what stats are and EVs and IVs, you can't go back to the way you thought before about Pokemon. Like, as a kid, I would just use all my favorite Pokemon. I would, you know, I wouldn't look at their stats, anything. I would just use the moves I thought were interesting. But then you kind of learn more about it, and you learn that there's certain advantages to, you know, having certain stats, and you can never look at it the same way, because in your head you always think about the fact, like, well, is the nature of this Pokemon good? Are their IVs good? And then effort values. I've, you know, I EV trained all my Pokemon now in Pokemon games. I didn't used to do that, and it makes them genuinely a lot stronger, you know. But it's something interesting. If you don't know and you play Pokemon, basically every Pokemon have base stats, and then IVs are like a number from 1 to 31 that are generated that can be how strong they are. So, like, the same Pokemon with 0 IVs in a stat will be much weaker than the same Pokemon with 31. And then natures boost certain stats and lower other stats. So, like, Modest will raise its special attack. Sorry, I'm nerding out about Pokemon right now, but I figured I would give a little rundown for the people who don't know anything about what I'm talking about. But it's like, once you know about those things, you can never go back to playing the way you do. Like, and I mean, honestly, that's the same for so many games. Like, once you learn a little bit, you can never go back to the child version of you that was, like, blissfully ignorant about it. Like, even Wizard101. Like, think about when you were a kid in Wizard101. Sorry, I'm trying to activate this teleporter, but the chest is on my screen. It's trying to get me to spend crowns. Think about when you were a kid, right? in Wizard 101, you didn't know about the AoE meta. Like, blading and AoE, you just used whatever was fun. And now, as an adult, it's a lot harder to look back at that and go like, okay, let me use whatever I want, because you know in your head that AoE is the best way to go.
To you for defeating the plague, Oni.
I'd hope you're grateful. I tried really hard.
That water would be pure again. I feel like I need a serious vacation. Please bring this vial of pure water.
You know,
to the
you could use it. I honestly, I agree. You should take a vacation.
I shall ponder
But first,
direction.
I can upgrade Skeletal Pirate. It'll do a bit more damage now, which is great. I think before, how much did it do? Oh, I'll never know. It did 430 to 410, now just 455 to 415. So, like, that is a decent base increase of damage, which I appreciate. Now, let me grab some mana. So I think what I'm going to do is this episode will be its own episode. Next episode will be Village of Sorrow and Ancient Burial Grounds, and then the final episode will be Tree of Life and the Jade Oni.
Ah, a vial of pure water. It was a mistake to assume the waters would remain pure while His Imperial Majesty is ill. We have what we need to cure His Imperial Majesty's mind and spirit. But to heal his body, we will require fruit from the mystical Tree of Life. Just like the Oni possessed warlord Katsumori and polluted the waters of Mushu, the Death Oni has twisted the Tree of Life. I urge you to speak with Samurai Hideo Kebo.
Alright, we are going to do that next episode, and I am quite excited to finish up Mushu. I will say, this section of Mushu is probably going to be quite a bit harder for me, because all the enemies are going to be death, so I'm going to be death prisming all the time, and they may use Life Shield. I'm not sure. But speaking of that, the Jade Oni's definitely going to use Death Shield, and that's going to be very annoying, so I'll need to go get some Pierce TCs. So to whoever said that, I appreciate the recommendation. I actually have 3, so I'm going to keep those in my deck right now, just in case. Again, thank you a lot. But that's it for today's episode. If you enjoyed, make sure to drop a like, hit the sub button. You can also join and become a channel member to get these episodes early. But if you don't want to, that's fine too. Just keep watching and hanging out with me. I love seeing all your comments, and I love talking to you guys. But that's it for today. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you in the next episode. Have a fantastic day.